Happy Paddy's Day, America!
I tell you what, your work ethic is inspiring. Your work rate is inspiring.
One of the biggest names in combat sports history, Conor McGregor, has now become friends with President Donald Trump as he spent St. Paddy's Day at the White House to discuss Ireland's issues with Donald Trump. And in this video, we're going to talk about how we got here, although they were just beefing about 6-7 months ago. So stick around to hear my thoughts. I'm Wyatt. This is Fight Society. All of this started last week when President Trump had a meeting with the Irish Prime Minister, and he was asked who his favorite Irish person was, and this was his response.
Who's your favorite Irish person?
Oh, there's so many. Are you kidding me? Well, I do happen to like your fighter. He's got the best tattoos I've ever seen. I don't know if I'm a big, but that.
Conor McGregor.
Conor.
Boy, you have. Well, Conor's great, right? You know, talking about Conor, but you have a lot of great Irish fighters, actually. Great fighters. I don't know what that is, but Ireland's always had a lot of good fighters. You know why? Because they're tough people. They're smart people and they're passionate people, and they really have been over the years. So many. I think your father was a great fighter, right?
He was, you did.
Wow. And yet, look at you. You're so smooth and so.
He was a very good defensive boxer. Very good weaver.
He was a really good.
He was a good boxer, yeah.
Right,
He
yeah,
fought for
I heard
Ireland.
that.
Boxed for Ireland. And
Yeah.
fought
That
some
means
very
you
good guys.
genetically, I'm not going to mess around.
And so this meeting where Trump said he was a fan of Conor McGregor caused a lot of controversy because so many of the Irish people are actually not fans of McGregor, especially due to his civil case where he was found financially liable with Nikita Hand, who accused him of sexual assault, among other things. He was not found liable for the sexual assault, but he was found for damages for an assault, as in like physical assault, not anyways, it doesn't really matter. But moving on, Conor, a week later, ends up at the White House to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with the president and to discuss Ireland's issues. Now, Conor was with the press secretary here, where it didn't look like he was really supposed to be taking questions, but he kind of just took the podium. And here's what he had to say, in his eyes, on behalf of the Irish people.
Ireland and America, we are siblings. We consider America our big sibling. So it's important for Ireland to have be a peaceful, prosperous country, for the 40 million Irish Americans to have a place to visit, to come back to their home. So we wish for our relationship with the United States to continue, and we wish to be taken care of by the big bro. You know, the United States should look after its little bro, and that's how we feel.
How about the trade? What about, there's some trade disputes between the U.S. and the EU, and how do you think?
We wish exemption.
We actually have some stuff that we.
And you can see right here, they're trying to get Conor out of there because they didn't want him taking questions right here, but he continued anyway.
Conor is here to meet with the president. He'll be meeting with him later this afternoon.
You see him walk up. He's like, no. I'm taking this mic.
And I will say,
You see it right here. They're trying to cut him off, and he's like, no.
Conor is here to
There
meet
he
with the
goes.
president. He'll be meeting with him later this afternoon. We couldn't think of a better guest to have with us on St. Patrick's Day. We're both wearing our green. This was not planned, but very festive. And as
You can also see Conor wanted to put his arm around her right there.
on St. Patrick's Day, we're both wearing our green. This was not planned, but very
What can I say? Dogs got to eat. You know what I mean?
festive. And as you know, I'll be having a briefing later at 1 o'clock, so we'll talk more about their meeting later. But he's going over to meet with some other administration officials. He's spending the day in Washington, D.C.
For sure.
So
I'm here to
it'll be
raise
fun.
the issues the people of Ireland face.
Yes.
You know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland. And it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country.
And as somebody that makes as much money as Conor does, you know, probably paying tens of millions of dollars per year in taxes, I could see why he'd have issue with how an unpopular government, unaccountable government uses the people's money, especially for him when, I mean, what's the tax bracket for him in Ireland? Let me see. Let's just say, okay, so let's just go through this. Let's just say We'll get kind of here. Let me see. Let's just say Conor makes 30 million euros, self-employed. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I don't know what he makes off of investments, but let's just say this is what he made. Okay. Let's just say this is what he made. And we'll just go down. We'll forget all of that. Okay. Let's just say he made $40 million. Okay. What is he going to be paying in taxes? Yeah. So before deductions and all of that, if he was to make, let's just say Conor made 40 million euros last year, that he would be paying upwards of, 16 million euros in just income tax. So just a perspective on how he would feel about it when he says how they're spending our money on interests that have nothing to do with the Irish people. He's talking specifically about himself because he's paying them a hefty chunk year to year. And this is the rest of what he had to say.
There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed. And the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit. You know, Ireland is at the cusp of, you know, potentially losing its Irishness. And I'm here to raise the issue and highlight it. You know, it's also St. Patrick's Day, so a little bit of celebrations for sure. And, you know, a little bit of learning and listening to Mr. President Trump, whose work ethic is inspiring. And all that does to me is highlight the lack of work on my side. So that's it. That's what I'm here for.
Awesome.
I'd like to see some more work in the octagon, though. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the Irish Prime Minister hit back and said that Conor does not speak for the interests of the Irish people. Here is Sky News covering that, as well as Conor's response on his way out of the White House that same day.
That's right. Just 5 days ago, Ireland's Prime Minister, Micheál Martin, was welcomed into the Oval Office, and there was a really awkward moment for the Taoiseach when Donald Trump described Conor McGregor as his favourite Irish person, because just 4 months ago, a woman who had accused Conor McGregor of rape won her civil case for damages in Dublin. And that's why many people find it extraordinary that today the president of the...
Something to make incredibly clear about that was that it was not for rape. The damages awarded and the evidence is fishy, and Conor's appealing it. So we'll see. But I think that's an important thing to say, because especially the Irish media and also quite a bit of American media has covered this like Conor was found guilty of rape, and that's factually not true.
The United States has welcomed Conor McGregor into the White House. The Taoiseach, Micheál Martin, in a post online said St. Patrick's Day represented the community, humanity, fellowship and friendship spirit of the people of Ireland, and that Conor McGregor didn't represent any of those things or speak for the people of Ireland. But he has now met with President Trump, and I caught up with him a few moments ago as he was leaving the West Wing. Conor, what did you say to the President? What did you say?
He's had a great meeting. He was a great man. I told him his work rate is outstanding, and I wish him all the best.
Conor, the Taoiseach says you don't speak for the people of Ireland. Your response to that?
I am an employer of over 200 people, almost 300 people in the country of Ireland. He's an employer of none. Every available metric available to us has shown that the government of Ireland currently has failed the people of Ireland. In 10 years, Dublin city centre has gone from one of the most safest cities in Europe to one of the most dangerous. So shame on him for saying that, speaking down on an Irishman.
Now that's the Conor we know. This is the actual Conor, not the last clip.
I won't speak about him.
Actually, this is toned down quite a bit.
Personally, throw a jab, I could throw many jabs at them. I could throw jabs handily at them. However, I speak on the metrics, and the metrics show they've failed the people of Ireland. They do not represent the people of Ireland.
Conor,
and I'm
what
here.
do you say to people who feel it's inappropriate for you to be here, given...
God bless Ireland, God bless America.
So he cut him off when he said it was controversial that he's here due to that conviction. And, you know, it's just really interesting because Conor and Trump are obviously, you know, buddies now. There's pictures of them in the White House together, all that. But just a few months ago, this is Trump on Aiden Ross's stream, well, back in August, about 6-7 months ago, on the campaign trail, saying that Khabib is his favorite fighter of all time.
Yeah,
he's the
there's
greatest.
nobody like him. You know, I always say everybody can be replaced except Dana, because this guy travels the world looking for fighters. Okay, get me fighters. He doesn't care where they from, countries nobody ever heard of. And that's where he finds the best fighters.
Who are like your favorite fighters?
Well, I think Khabib, I mean, how good is Khabib? 29, I guess 29, 28 and 0. And then his father died and he stopped. I don't think he ever lost a round. I got to meet him at a fight because I walk in with Dana. Sometimes I do this walk in. And, you know, he came to me and he said, "You're the man that can stop the war," because he's talking about the war with Ukraine, Russia.
Of course.
Because he knows they're his people. I mean, on both sides, right? There's so many people dying in that war. It was amazing. We weren't talking about fighting. We were talking about a different kind of fighting, a much worse kind of fighting. And he was very concerned about that whole thing, that war. He said, "You can get it stopped," and I can get it stopped. I will have that stopped before I assume off. I will, if I win the election, the first thing I'm going to do.
And he hasn't stopped it yet, but it looks like we're close. And Conor then hit back in response to that post saying, "Campaign ending decision. A smelly fat mountain monkey from the inbred mountains of Dagestan is your favorite UFC fighter American company. Wow, abysmal." So, you know, cocaine Conor at it, where he's pissed one day and then they resolve things, or when he needs to be in the good graces of people in high places, he's back on the Trump train. So Conor seems to be showing some interest in Irish politics. What do you guys think this means? There's a possibility that this means that Conor is never going to fight again because he is going to be pursuing Irish politics like it seems he's doing. Or it could mean that he's coming back soon because we have the news of the UFC Netflix deal being the most likely broadcasting partner. I'll make a video about that. You also have UFC trending upward. It looks like we're going to get several massive fights this year, including Jones Aspinall. We'll talk about that in a separate video because there is some fuckery being played by John Jones. But the trajectory of the UFC is heading upwards. They're going to get in front of a bigger audience on Netflix, which I think is where they're going to end up. Trump's involved with, Dana's involved with Trump. Conor is close with Trump. I think this is all kind of leading to Conor back in the headlines as a UFC fighter, potentially. It could split. It could go either way. One possibility is we never see him again. He tries to become a politician. Two is this is him getting his name out there as much as possible because there's a fight coming soon. So let me know what you guys think. It's crazy to see Conor just like crashing out on coke, getting accused of crazy things, partying super hard, hooking up with chicks, and then just at the White House talking about Ireland's political issues. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do we see Conor in the cage again? What do you think about his visit to the White House, and especially any Irish viewers? What is like the sentiment in Ireland towards Conor McGregor? Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you like this video? Then like and subscribe down below. I also do multiple live streams per week, along with behind the scenes content and members only live streams for our channel members. So become a channel member for access to bonus content. It's only $5 per month and it greatly helps the channel's growth. I also do a podcast with my best friend Bo, and I have a non-MMA channel as well called Wyatt's World. You can check both of those out linked below.